Hello friends, welcome to Knowledge Bytes. This is the part 6 of Microsoft Azure Fundamental series. In this session, we'll learn about Azure Management and Governance. To start with Azure Management and Governance, we'll discuss about Azure Cost Management, how Azure cost is getting generated, what are the factors that can affect your cost, followed by the total cost of ownership or TCO and also Azure pricing calculator. Then we will learn about Azure budget and then cost analysis. Lastly, we'll learn about Azure tax and what are the use case of Azure tax. So cost management. So why cost management is important? Cost management is important so that you have a limit on your expenditure and you know how much money you are spending for your workload or your business to run, and you can always optimize it. So first, let us look at what are the key factors that can affect your cost in Azure. So first thing is resource type. That means if you are running a virtual machine called VM or an app, web app, or I am simply writing as app, the cost would be VM and cost of app would be certainly different. So this resource type is a deciding factor for your Azure run cost. Again, we have already learned that Azure, the cost is an OPEX cost, or basically that amount of time you think consume, you will be costed. So consumption is another factor. That means how many hours or how many time you are running each service. Based on that, your bill will be generated. Maintenance means how much maintenance this resource is required. This could be a factor that you might have enabled some of the maintenance features for a particular virtual machine or particular resource that Microsoft is doing. That may be a deciding factor for your Azure cost. Geography. Geography, that means if you are provisioning something in USA and versus something in UK, the cost could be different because the rate for USA labor, the data center cost, and all the factors that Microsoft has considered would be different in USA than UK. That is geography, another important factor for your run cost. Subscription type. So far we have not taken a discussion about subscription type, but just for the sake of this course, there are three kinds of subscription. One is free trial. Free trial is basically, as the name suggests, it's a trial version of subscription. So obviously in free trial mostly will not be charged anything. Then pay as you go. Pay as you go is something where you would be charged for your consumption or how many times or how much hour you are running the service. Then is the enterprise agreement where you are committing something to Azure upfront. Then the charges for the resources and other things would be lower in enterprise agreement. And this is how subscription type affects your resource cost or any other agreement that Microsoft may have made with yourself or your organization. That's also a deciding factor for your subscription. Next, Azure Marketplace. Marketplace means if you are purchasing some resource virtual machine directly from Microsoft, then the cost of this virtual machine, or if you are purchasing a virtual machine based appliance from any other vendor like Cisco, Broadcom, or any other, or VMware or any other vendor, then the cost might be higher. So that is another factor for Azure cost management. Moving ahead, we have total cost of ownership, also known as TCO. So total cost of ownership or TCO is a financial estimate intended to help buyer or owner determine the direct and indirect cost of a product and service. So in light of your data center or an IT, let's say you want to host 10 virtual machine and 2 TB of storage. To host that in on-premise, you will need a building, you will need a land, you will need to pay for electricity, cooling, IT labor, server, rack, networking, etc., etc. Whereas in Azure, you might need to be paid for only for the virtual machine. Here, the direct cost might be the things for the virtual, the servers and the virtual machine cost, where the indirect cost is the example is IT labor cost. So to get an idea about what would be the cost about running some business in on-premise versus Azure, Azure has introduced something called Azure TCO calculator. The link is given or highlighted here. The link is azure.microsoft.com/en-us because I am running the English version of it, /pricing/TCO/calculator. So this will give you a financial estimate and a comparison between all comparing or capturing all the direct and indirect cost, which you can submit to your business leaders like CEO, CTO or senior management to showcase like this would be the cost for running a new application or running a new service within your organization. Let's take an example. I'll start by copying this link and we'll assume an hypothetical situation where I need 100 VMs for a company called ABC Incorporated. All are Windows servers, standard server, nothing premium or fancy about it, and I need like at least like let's say 16 CPU core and 32 GB of RAM. I also need 5 databases and I need 100 TB of storage to store my data, and I have an estimate for outbound data, means how much data I am going to outbound and send outside of my network would be like around like let's say 10 GB per 10 GB. Why outbound data is important? Because that would be a deciding cost for any of the cloud providers. If anything is going outside of your cloud, then you will be going to be cost, which is not a cost for on-premise, but let us simulate that and get a result using Azure TCO calculator. So I'll start by choosing the workload for server. I'm going to have Windows or Linux server, all are virtual machine. Operating should be Windows and environment data center looks fine. Instead of 10, I'll say 100. Virtualization Hyper-V looks good to me. I said I need 16 CPU and 32 GB of RAM. And these are not like legacy Windows 2008 servers, so I'll uncheck this access. For database, I want SQL Server and I said 5 SQL Server is required. And I will keep the other configurations as it is, like 1 proc, 1 code, 1 GB RAM. 1 GB RAM would be less, so I will just change the CPU to 4 here and RAM to 8 GB. Also, I need everything to be provisioned within India region, because all my customers are located in India. So naturally, if my customer location is India, then I will certainly create this new application in India. So I've configured it for GB. I will keep other things as it is. I will not change anything. For storage, I mentioned I need 100 TB of storage to store random data. 100 TB. So I'll start by changing the storage capacity to 100 TB. Within that 100 TB, I need backup for all 100 TB, and I'm not going to archive anything. Let's say. And the region wise, I will choose the destination region as India, and outbound data I said 10 GB, so I'll choose by 10 GB. I'll click next, and I'll change the currency to reflect as an Indian rupees, and I'll keep other things as checked, like Windows Server license I need, as included within for my benefits, because that would be something that I need to purchase, and also I need SQL Server license, right? So rest of the things I would keep as it is, and I'll click next. So for a time frame of 5 years, I'm going to save like 1.2 billion like Indian rupees, which isn't huge. If I change the time frame to 1 year, even that is like 33 crores. So this would be the huge difference about the money. So if you see this, the cost difference, in the beginning, the cost between running the cost in on-premise and Azure is huge. And over the period of as the time passes by, the realization is getting more and more. The difference in 1 year to difference in 5 years between on-premise and cloud cost is huge. Let us take the reason why. So we can see in the on-premise, the left-hand side is on-premise, right-hand side is the Azure cost. I'm going to spend 96% of my money for the compute, 1% for data center, 2% for networking, and 1% for labor. Where in Azure, say 76% would be compute, 12% storage, and 12% IT labor. Now, to take a more granular breakdown, you'll see for the on-premise, I have a compute cost, hardware cost, software cost. The software cost would be license cost, the virtualization software cost, or any other software that I would be requiring for the configuring my solutions. Then I need to pay some huge amount of electricity bill. Then the virtualization cost. My bad, the software cost is mostly the license cost. The virtualization cost is differently captured. Then I have a cost for database. Then I have data center cost, networking cost. The networking cost is ingress egress charges or network appliances cost. Then the storage cost. Lastly, the IT labor cost. Where in Azure, again similar to data center, I need to pay for compute, but in a lower scale. I need not to pay anything for data center. There is some amount for networking. For storage, I do need to pay something. For IT labor, I also have some values. But overall, I'm not paying anything for software, electricity, or virtualization, because Microsoft underneath sharing that between multiple customers, and that is why it's not charging to any of the customers individually on that. So, and if you want to share this to any of your hard management, you can simply download it. You can save it to PDF, or you can directly print from here. So I'll just save it from PDF and to like download it. I'll go to my download sections and I will show you the report. I'll full screen it. I'll close this. So it will give you all the breakdowns that we are seeing in the cost and all the details that we are checking on the web page. It has all the details in there. So this is a good thing to provide your, and again, like these are then a holistic breakdown as well, like why these charges has been generated, why this charges is generated. Everything has been there. So this is something that you can provide it to your senior management, and they can take a decision which workload is suitable, and should we be running this workload in cloud or versus on-premise. So certainly after seeing the estimate, I can certainly say the cloud is more suitable for ABC corporate. Now you may have a question like, what about individual virtual machine cost? I also want to see what would be the cost for individual virtual machine, because all the 100 virtual machines will not have 16 CPU, 32 GB RAM. Some will have less CPU, some will have higher RAM, and there would be a different combination. To check individual resource cost, Azure has something called pricing calculator. And so basically Azure pricing calculator is designed to give you an estimate for cost of provisioning one resources in Azure. This will be directly the individual resource cost, not a solution. So by using this, you can like get an holistic idea. Okay, within my workload, there are 3 applications. One application needs 2 virtual machines. What would be the cost for this virtual machine, network cost, storage cost, etc. To go to this Azure pricing calculator, either you browse this link that I am highlighting, that is https azure.microsoft.com /pricing/calculator, or you can directly go to your favorite search engine in browser and search for Azure Price Calculator. And then you can come to this link called Azure Pricing Calculator. And start configuring the resources. So I'll remove everything that I have previously configured to start from clean. So once you come to this section, first thing that you need to do is you need to select the appropriate service. So I said I'm going to estimate cost for 2 VMs which are Windows servers. So I'll start by adding that virtual machine options, and then so I'll change the region because I wanted it to be run in India. So I'll choose something within India. I'll choose Central India as my location. 730 hours means a month, but if it feels difficult, you can choose 1 month. For this particular virtual machine, I need 8 core and 14 GB. And standard looks fine to me. I don't want basic. Category wise, I want and general purpose storage, and other things, instance series and other things looks fine to me. So now if you see, there are different options. Apart from pay as you go, there are savings plus 1 year, 3 year, 1 year, 3 year. So the bottom two are the reservation. That means you can do a reservation with Azure, which is not part of the scope, but just to let you know, reservation is something that will give you more cost reduction on top of your general pay-as-you-go plan. Savings plan is something that comes as an enterprise agreement, but again, this is not part of the scope, so we'll go as a pay-as-you-go. And we'll say license is included because I do not have a license, so I'll purchase the license from Microsoft itself. So for the virtual machines, I need 2 disks, obviously for these 2 virtual machines, and I need each disk to be 128 GB. And the tier should be standard. I need standard HD, I don't need SSD. Since I'm running the okay, I need also support, and I want the support to be developer tier. I'll choose that, and Microsoft Customer Provider there. For the storage and bandwidth, I do not want any storage transaction or any bandwidth for the virtual machine. Before I export it, I will change by the currency to be Indian rupee. So now it is giving me an estimate of 50,000. If I want to export it, again there is an option called export. This will give me an Excel sheet which I can share it to my higher management, because many places in IT, your management or senior management, or there is an approval process before you can build a resource. So before provisioning, you can get an estimated idea like what is the cost of running these things and what is the support cost. So as you can see, like for this particular virtual machine running in Central India, I have approximate cost of 47,000, where I am going to pay for like 2,368 rupees extra for the developer level support cost, and total cost would be 50,000 per month. So once I get that, I am satisfied. I can share it to my approval. I can attach this as my proof of Microsoft like cost estimation, and then once this cost is approved, I can provision the resources. So this is how you can get an idea about Azure pricing and Azure TCO, and you can get an idea about how you can build an Azure solution, what would be the cost of a solution, and what would be the cost of individual workload and individual items within the solution or individual tier with the solution. Hope you like it, and hope this session was informative to you. If you like this session, please do like, share and subscribe. And if you have any queries, feel free to drop that in the comment section. We'll try to get back to you as soon as possible. Also, if you have any suggestions, also please post that into the comment section. We will be back soon with the last section or the part 7 of this AZ-900 series soon. For now, goodbye. Thank you.